Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. For pedestrians, safety begins at the crossing. Use designated pedestrian crossings marked with patterned reflective signs known as cat eyes to ensure visibility and safety. Communities living along the highway must adapt to new safety measures.
Hello and welcome to Star TV Newsroom, broadcasting from our studios here in Bertel Harding Highway. I am Maimunatu Fadera, and many thanks indeed for joining us. First, the headlines tonight. Infrastructure Minister and delegation inspect URR roads under construction. ICTJ hosts National Youth Dialogue on empowering Gambian youth in governance. PPP's Electoral Commission nullifies positions of 7 individuals. Police investigate alleged murder in Bansan. And the internationals, M23 rebels take Goma, most of the city captured despite resistance. Rescue efforts underway after plane and helicopter crash near Reagan Airport. Well, those were the headlines. And now to news in detail. The Minister of Works and Infrastructure, accompanied by a delegation comprising officials of his ministry and the National Roads Authority, have now reached the Upper River region as they continue their inspection of road infrastructure projects across the country. The delegation arrived in URR on Wednesday to assess the progress of Lot 1 road projects. The extensive project spanning 76 kilometers is managed by Gay Construction, a locally owned company with Cityscape Associates serving as the consultant. Omar Job files in this report.
Following an assessment of road projects in Fonyi and Keang, Minister Silla, along with senior officials from the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure and the National Road Authority, visited various project sites within Lot 1. Their objective was to evaluate progress and directly engage with contractors, engineers and technicians involved in the URR works. The project encompasses 15 road sections with currently efforts concentrated on 6 key routes. Basemane Kunda, Demba Kunda, Gambisara 13.93 kilometers, Angal Futa Road Project 1.7 kilometers, Basemane Kunda and Base Road Project 1.6 kilometers, Damfa Kunda to Tambasansan Road 9.2 kilometers, Chamoy to Damfa Kunda 2.8 kilometers, and the Birkamaba Boyram Joben Road 6.33 kilometers. During the site inspections, Minister Silla emphasized that the Basse Road facelift initiative was launched by President Barrow to bring modernization similar to that of the capital city, Banjul.
The infrastructure that we have here actually has been here since independence. And that is why His Excellency the President has thought it necessary to start the modernization of Basse just like he did in Banjul, and steadily we will do all the major roads in Basse, not at a single time though, but we will approach it through phase approach, so that while we are doing other projects, we'll include additional roads in Basse town, and then look at those critical roads that need redoing or fixing quickly. In addition, also we have a lot of major settlements outside of Basse town itself that, though very close to Basse, but have been constrained by lack of roads, to the point that they could not access the markets here, they could not access the facilities here, and then it was always very difficult to traverse between Basse and some of these villages.
Asa Awuku, the resident engineer for Lot 1, highlighted the progress and outlined the expected timeline for completion.
Made substantial progress. Total progress as at now is about 36%. We are making progress. The contractor has brought in equipment, concrete batching plant, which is to speed up the rate at which we are making concrete works, because that is a very, very substantial quantity in the works. So the batching plant is expected to expedite the rate of progress.
So and what kind of roads do we have here, and when do we expect
inside Basse Town we have majority concrete roads, but then outside the built-up areas we have double surfacing. Yes. Because of the additional works, we are expecting that the project will finish around 2026, September, October.
Mr. Tawit Tesima, project manager, Guy Construction, assured that they are delivering high quality and adequate culverts to prevent flooding.
So far we are delivering the best quality we could on the execution of all the roads. This inside Basse, the concrete roads, and towards Dembakunda. We are providing adequate culverts to avoid flooding the highly affected areas in Dembakunda. So we are doing our best to assure quality.
Local residents, including Adama Toure and Kisima Sisaho, expressed gratitude to the minister and the government for the improved roads, while also sharing the challenges they face before the initiation of these projects.
We are very glad because in those days, during our old time, pregnant woman, during the pain, she walked from here to Basse, or they use donkey carts. But today, alhamdulillah, and I know today, tomorrow will be better than today. So we are very glad, and if we get lights again, it should be very, very, it's very good for us.
The road was so bad because we...
Can you give us a description of how bad the road was?
Yeah, it was so bad that even to move from here to Basse, sometimes it takes us 2 hours before reaching there. We used donkey carts, and there was no... Transportation was a problem for us. We don't have vehicle, we don't have ambulance. Even these pregnant women, when they are ready to deliver, it was a problem for us. But now, we can just take 5-10 minutes to reach Basse.
Through these initiatives, the Gambia government, under the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, is committed to improving connectivity and promoting economic growth. The overall progress of the works varies across different sections of the road, with an estimated completion rate of approximately 19.91%. The residents of URR are looking forward to the enhanced infrastructure and better connectivity, driving further development in the region. For Star TV, this is Omar Job.
In a bid to enhance the protection and participation of youth in political process and governance in the Gambia, the International Center for Transitional Justice, in partnership with organizations such as Think Young Women, Fantanka Our Nation, Our Voice, and Peace Ambassadors, hosted an event dubbed the National Youth Dialogue. The event, held on Wednesday at Baobab Resort, was organized to discuss existing opportunities for the Gambian youth, the challenges among others. Maria Madem reports.
The Gambia is currently undergoing a transitional justice process initiated to address the country's past human rights abuses during the regime of former President Yahya Jammeh, who ruled from 1994 to 2017. This transitional justice framework includes various mechanisms aimed at confronting past atrocities, promoting accountability, and fostering reconciliation. However, the successful implementation of these mechanisms is believed to rely heavily on the involvement and participation of young people, hence the timeliness and significance of the recent youth gathering organized by the International Center for Transitional Justice and its partners on January 29, 2025. Kemo Bojang, a representative of the Mayor of KMC, welcomed the initiative, stating that the event presents a unique opportunity to reflect on how to strengthen the voices of youth in governance and justice, securing their full participation for the advancement of the country.
Young Gambians must see themselves not just as beneficiaries of justice and good governance, but as architects of it. You must be at the forefront of advocating for transparency, accountability, and the promotion of youth rights, which are your rights. Your voices and experiences are vital in shaping policies that will ensure a just and democratic Gambia. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the International Center for Transitional Justice, United Nations Peace Building Fund, and all of you who have gathered here to make this event a success. Finally, I challenge you, imagine a Gambia where youth are not just participants, but leaders in governance and justice. A Gambia where transitional justice becomes the foundation for peace and progress. Together.
Ms. Rose Lawal from Think Young Women emphasized the importance of the event in prompting meaningful conversations aimed at empowering Gambian youth to actively engage in dialogue to achieve justice and accountability. She expressed gratitude to their partners for their support in making the event possible.
These engagements have sparked important dialogues with duty bearers, providing a platform for youth to actively participate in conversations about youth inclusion in decision-making and ongoing efforts to achieve justice and accountability. As we reflect on the outcomes of this partnership, we are deeply grateful to ICTJ and UNPDF for their continuous support and trust. Your partnership has empowered us to move forward with our mission of creating lasting change. Can we put our hands together for that? Fostering inclusive dialogue and ensuring that young people are central to the ongoing efforts of justice and peace in the Gambia.
The National Youth Dialogue aims to recommend approaches and strategies to enhance the protection and participation of youth in political processes and governance at the national level. Other partners involved in the dialogue include the UNFPBF and the Ministries of Youth and Sports and Gender, Children and Social Welfare.
It's my honor to stand before you and to engage you to start off this vital conversation about youth in political processes, governance, and the promotion of youth rights. Your presence here today, I think, marks something that is culminating from a long process. Congratulations to the ICTJ team of working to establish a platform for young people to be able to engage more meaningfully. As the coordinator of the Peace Building Fund Secretariat, I am privileged to support the transformational initiatives that engage young people, and nowhere is your leadership more critical than in the pursuit of good governance, transitional justice, reforms, and the protection of rights.
This dialogue comes at a crucial moment in our nation's history, a time when we are transitioning towards a more inclusive, transparent, and just society. The Gambia, like many other nations, has endured its share of challenges, especially in terms of governance, human rights, and justice. But our strength lies in our resilience, our commitment to peace, and our collective determination to build a better future for all citizens, particularly young people. Ladies and gentlemen, as a government, we recognize that youth are the cornerstone of any transformative process. They are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the leaders of today. The energy, innovation, and idealism that young people bring to the table are vital in shaping the future direction of governance.
The event featured sessions updating participants on the implementation of the TRRC's recommendations, discussing youth social and political rights, challenges and strategies to enforce the national youth policy, irregular migration, and reflections on youth initiatives to improve their rights and participate in the country's reconciliation and development process. It is also important to note that the key components of the Gambia transitional justice process involve the establishment of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission (TRRC), tasked with investigating human rights violations and providing a platform for victims to share their experiences. The TRRC's findings and recommendations are intended to guide the country's efforts towards healing, justice, and the prevention of future abuses. Additionally, other initiatives such as legal reforms and community engagement programs are part of the Gambia's broader commitment to transitional justice. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
The Electoral Commission of the People's Progressive Party has announced in a press release the disqualification of several individuals due to what the party called violations of its constitution. The individuals assumed key responsibilities in the party during its Congress on December 21st. The party has announced a leadership. Awasana reports.
The Electoral Commission of the People's Progressive Party, PPP, has informed its general membership about the disqualification of certain individuals following a petition that cited constitutional violations during the party's December 21st Congress. The PPP said its decision came after an investigation about adhering to Article 14.3e of the party's constitution, which mandates that candidates must sign an undertaking to participate in electoral processes. Failure to comply with this requirement, stated the party, has resulted in the disqualification of Usman Madike Fall, Alpha Usman Jallo, Sohna Ami Bajan Boob, Mbemba Nanko, Amadou Ba, Dauda K. Jaju, and Karafa Sambu. In contrast, the party's electoral body has confirmed the election of those it said have complied with the constitutional requirements. They are Keba E. Jallo, Secretary General and Party Leader, Uthman A. Njeng, Deputy Secretary General and Party Leader, Usainu M.L. Jallo, National President, and Maimuna Sawane, Deputy National Treasurer. The Electoral Commission said it's grateful to all members of the People's Progressive Party for their patience and cooperation during this electoral process. The Commission reaffirmed its commitment to upholding the party's constitution and ensuring the integrity of all democratic processes within the organization. For Star TV News, I am Awasane.
The police said on Thursday that they are investigating an alleged murder that took place on Wednesday, January 29, 2025 in Bansang, Sukutakunda, Alatentu. Here is Mariama with more details.
The Gambia Police Force said officers in Bansang responded to a distress call and discovered the lifeless body of one Musaba, a Senegalese national residing in the area. Ba, an adult Marabu, the police said, was found at the scene along with his shoes, glasses, and the suspected murder weapon, though his motorbike was missing. The police reported that its preliminary findings suggest that Mr. Ba was visited by two individuals who claimed to be his relatives, and that, according to his wife, these individuals had come to visit him before he left with them. When he failed to return, the police stated concerns arose, ultimately leading to the tragic discovery of his body. The police said these two so-called relatives are now nowhere to be found. An investigation is underway to determine the circumstances surrounding his death, the police further reported. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
Well, those were the local stories. We'll now go for a short commercial break. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
AfriSol presents Nickel Millionaire 2.0, where your dreams of becoming a millionaire can come true, not once, but twice. In the first 2 months, one lucky AfriSol subscriber will win a cool $1 million. Another lucky winner will take home another $1 million just 2 months after that. But wait, there's more. We've got loads of cash prizes to be won every week. Simply buy a minimum of $10 in credit or data. So the more you buy, the better your chances of hitting the jackpot. Nickel Millionaire 2.0. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. live on GRTS. AfriSol, creating millionaires, changing lives.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. For pedestrians, safety begins at the crossing. Use designated pedestrian crossings marked with patterned reflective signs known as cat eyes to ensure visibility and safety. Communities living along the highway must adapt to new safety measures.
Welcome back. After that short commercial break, we now look at the news beyond our borders. M23 rebels have captured most of Goma in eastern DRC despite resistance from government forces. The armed group is now reportedly advancing south towards Bokuvu. More than 100 people have been killed in the recent days as fighting intensifies. The Congolese president says he is determined to recover lost territory but is open to negotiations, including with Rwanda, the key backer of the M23. Al Jazeera's Malcolm Webb reports from Goma.
Romanian military contractors were among those who were meant to stop the rapid advance of the Rwandan-backed M23 rebels. Democratic Republic of Congo's government hired them 2 years ago. It didn't help. After days of battling in the streets, M23's fighters, supported by Rwandan soldiers, have taken control of most of the provincial capital Goma, and the contractors have taken over the border into Rwanda.
We will let them go, and we have told them if they even try to come back to a different part of Congo, we will get them, and they will regret it.
These Congolese soldiers surrendered at a stadium in Goma. They fought alongside UN-sanctioned armed groups and troops from South Africa, Malawi and Tanzania. None of them proved a match for M23's fighters with Rwandan support. Rwanda's had decades of military support from Western powers, which is part of the reason why protesters burned the French, US and other embassies in the capital Kinshasa on Tuesday. Both France and the US have called for Rwandan troops and M23 fighters to withdraw. The US urged the UN Security Council to consider measures to stop the advance, but has not specified what action should be taken. Congo said the UN should sanction Rwanda's political and military leaders and block its exports of minerals, which President Felix Tshisekedi says Rwanda is looting from Congo's mines. Rwanda says M23 is too busy fighting to loot minerals. Residents of Goma have been waiting days for the fighting to stop.
We are suffering. We've only been able to come out because the guns have gone silent. We had to come out to find some water. In many homes, food is finished, water is finished.
This mobile video shows armed men proceeding along the shores of Lake Kivu towards the city of Bukavu. A Rwandan diplomat has said M23 will continue its advance if there isn't a negotiation. Previous rounds of talks have all failed. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera.
An American airline passenger plane carrying 64 people has crashed into the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. after colliding mid-air with a military helicopter on a training exercise late on Wednesday, prompting a major emergency response and the grounding of all flights. Al Jazeera's Shihab Ratensi reports from Alexandria in Virginia.
Rescuers search for survivors in the cold and dark waters near Washington, D.C. An American Airlines plane and a Black Hawk military helicopter crashed on Wednesday evening near the airport in Arlington County. 60 passengers and 4 crew members had departed from Wichita in Kansas on the commercial flight. And local media say 3 soldiers were on the helicopter. Both aircraft have been found in the Potomac River. 300 responders are on site, including divers, conducting search and rescue.
It's a highly complex operation. The conditions out there are extremely rough for the responders. It's cold. They're dealing with relatively windy conditions. Wind is hard out on the river. So they're out there working.
There hasn't been a fatal U.S. passenger plane accident since February of 2009. President Donald Trump reacted on social media, saying the crash, quote, should have been prevented. Keith Mackey, a retired pilot who's flown into Reagan National Airport many times, says the helicopter pilot had been in touch with the control tower moments before the crash.
We know that the controller told the helicopter pilot, asked him if he had the airplane in sight, and told him to pass behind the airplane. Now, there's some confusion. Perhaps the helicopter pilot saw the airplane taking off and thought that's who he was to pass behind, or perhaps he just got confused and did not understand exactly what he was to do.
Local authorities didn't comment on the causes of the crash, which could range from pilot error to air traffic control miscommunication or mechanical failure. The National Transportation Safety Board has launched an investigation.
The investigation is at the very earliest of stages, but clearly the major question is how could such a mid-air collision occur given the level of technology now in place to avoid exactly these sorts of incidents. Shihab Ratensi, Al Jazeera, Alexandria, Virginia.
Well, before we end the news, a recap of our headlines. The Infrastructure Minister and delegation inspect URR roads under construction. ICTJ hosts National Youth Dialogue on empowering Gambian youth in governance. PPP's Electoral Commission nullifies positions of 7 individuals. Police investigate alleged murder in Bansan. And the internationals, M23 rebels take Goma, most of the city captured despite resistance. Rescue efforts underway after plane and helicopter crash near Reagan Airport. That's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of wonderful programs. Once again, thanks for your company. Well, I am Mayuna Fadera. Thanks for watching. Do have a wonderful night. Bye.
No brother on the hustle. No brother on the struggle. It's been a long journey. But if panim pa barapunin dua jabu wala insidia. Cheers to success.
It's J Life Music.
Tulipota daming mampensoto Wamatina namfantinya, yeah, yeah. Padua for barakosinana Meta katala wato